Hey everyone, I'm Jang, and this is the LEGO Spider-Man Final Battle set from Spider-Man No Way Home. I paid $110 US for this set, and it comes with 900 pieces exactly, officially, which I assembled all together with the wonderful folks over on my Twitch channel. It's a minifig heavy set, and many people look at this from the perspective of a minifigure pack, especially looking at the value of it. But I'm going to focus on the build first, the whole thing, and we will look at the figures up close later on. But this presents something interesting in the fact that you can look at this from any angle, and with just slightly different posing of the minifigures, it has similar display value all the way around. Because the focus here is not on the Lady Liberty head itself, the focus is on the entire environment, the entire scene as a whole, with individual details that you can set yourself. You can repose folks all around in different places and get, try to replicate exact scenes, exact things that happen in the movie, or make your own. And it really works from 360 degrees. The use of the medium nougat here isn't particularly awesome to look at. Honestly, it's very muted. It doesn't really capture copper. It doesn't capture that freshly polished, freshly cleaned copper look to me, but it's probably the closest thing that LEGO has in their inventory to it. And honestly, it does a pretty good job of making all of this fairly flat and focusing on the minifigs, but that makes it a very good palette, I think, a very good canvas to put your scenes onto. And they give you a lot of tools for all of that, from the web pieces, like this here is a relatively soft one that can be bent around in different ways, to the connectors, like you've got Exoforce arms here. All these bars that are available to connect things to can obviously be clipped onto by hands. They've got other parts from the web blast and splat packs that are specific to Spider-Man sets can be attached in various ways. And then you have this relatively new piece right here that can be plugged into an axle hole. You can connect to the side of it. You can connect to the top of it. Obviously, there are some studded surfaces around here as well. Not as many of those. On top, you've got a handful. And then some of the scaffolding has some studded spaces. Some of the levels do not. Like this right here does not. I wish that each of the levels had some studded surfaces as well. Just, make one of those a plate and one of them a tile, like they did in some of the spots around here. I will say that the scaffolding itself is very satisfying to me. It took a while to put it together because, I was trying to make sure that I did it exactly as shown in the instructions, but it looks good. It's very believable. And then additionally, they have these little generators down here, a couple of those spread around, which provide that axle hole connection. So you can connect anything that's bar sized and bar shaped, like this right here could be moved around to it. They're also clipped, just like this one here coming back to it is clipped on, so that can be clipped in different places to make sure that it doesn't fall off, and to make sure that this is a proper long-term display if you want it to be, even in a place where somebody might come along and touch it a little bit. These things aren't going to come apart easily. You can definitely take them apart, but just a little accidental or just a little nudge isn't necessarily going to mess it up. I think all of that is valuable, and all that is important for just understanding the value of this as an entire set and not just as a minifig pack. This does rely on stickers for many of its decorations, from the smallest details that I showed you on the tops of the generators to these large panels here. Really interesting thing was done with Sandman. Because check this out. They went there with it. They've got Sandman coming up through the entire thing. And not only is his hand right there, which I didn't recognize when I first saw the pictures of this, not only is his hand there, but you actually start when you do the base. Not sure if you notice this as I turn around. All that tan down there, that's Sandman. That's actually part of his non-biomass. All that down there, that's all him. That's all the material that he used to form himself, and it goes down underneath of here. So there's quite a bit of that. There's some, extended off to the side here. It's kind of cut off if you look at this as a diorama that's just a slice of the world, and it's all integrated up inside of there. And then inside of this space, you can potentially have a couple minifigures just sitting down. If you recall, if you've been into Lego for long enough, if you remember when the Lego movie came out with the Apocalypseburg, what was it, the Planet of the Apes reference that they did with the Statue of Liberty, partially toppled. This is almost exactly that same build, which I'm down with, for them to, sorry about the focus there we go. For them to have not massively updated this, I think is actually cool. They could have changed it up, but they had something that worked just fine. And they stuck with it. Only minor changes were made, like the shape of the nose. This is a piece that didn't exist at the time of the previous one. But otherwise, this is just showing that, in the Lego world, the Lego universe in general, the greater Lego universe, this is what the Statue of Liberty looks like. This is how it's shaped. This is its size. And they just did a color swap here. And I think that's cool. Again, with the stickers though, all these use stickers for the small details. Thankfully, most of those are optional. If you hate stickers, just don't put those on at all. In my opinion, I really don't feel like they add a whole lot to this, because ultimately the whole thing just has that earthy tone that doesn't read as metal to me. Not really effectively. It's just kind of backdrop. It's very, very earthy. There's one other thing with this. You can open up the back of it. This actually comes down from the top to have one of the portals there, Doctor Strange portals going back to the Sanctum Sanctorum. And obviously that there is just another large sticker. While I have this detached, I want to show you one of these generator units up close so you can see what all you can do with that. Again, a sticker for the top, but it actually has a printed console over on the side for status. It's got the clip here. We've got anti-studs on the underside to potentially secure it to surfaces that are just flat. And then these bars can actually be attached to. There's not a whole lot of strength in here, but because you've got two of these droid arms used here, there is some friction, so potentially you can clip something onto that. And then the strongest connection here is the axle hole at the end through the 1x1 Technic brick. And this piece just has that axle connector at the end of it like that, so it's not going to rotate away on you. Therefore, you can put something with a little bit of weight on it, like the glider here for Green Goblin. And yeah, that in this case, this connector piece just has some studs, some hollow studs attached to the end of it, and clear is new. Plain, transparent, clear is new for the hollow studs there. And that's wonderful. It's been a long time coming, a long time. I personally have been waiting for those. And I know certainly many people who do custom work have been waiting for those. It's an excellent adapter piece because you can put a bar through it. Obviously you've got the studs here as well, so you can attach there, including putting a bar through the middle of that. And yeah, and then looking at, while I'm here, just looking at the Goblin glider, it's simple. I like the little arrowhead pieces in the trans blue. Back there, we've not gotten those pieces in that color enough, in my opinion. But this is simple, but I think it scales pretty well, and you can kind of adjust this to make it look like it's at different points of flight, make it look a little bit more dynamic, just slightly. Here's a closer look at that Green Goblin minifigure. In my opinion, this one does not do a great job of capturing Willem Dafoe. In the reprised role, this feels more comic to me, also feels much younger. The hair is right, but I don't know, this just feels too clean to me. Also, the use of print to represent the cloth bit there doesn't work well enough for me. I feel like this figure definitely could have been done better, definitely could have had more going on with it. That face does capture his expression overall, but it looks just a little bit too young to me. It just, it wasn't de-aged to that degree, but here I'm missing it. I'm not seeing it. Ooh, this Electro figure has a lot going on with the accessories. The yellow color for the lightning bits coming out of the hands, and then all these that are connected with, they have Technic axle holes at the bases, but they're just attached around modified studs with the bars coming off them. And then you have the yellow infinity stones all around there, 4 of those, so you get a ton of spares. There's a lot of good stuff going on with this. And once again, more of the clear, just plain trans-clear studs are used. Yeah, that's quite a thing, There's what the back of the torso looks like with everything removed. This Doc Ock figure works for me 100%. The arms have a ton of posability to them. You can also rotate, not just bring them in and out and change the bend, but you can rotate them around. and they're strong enough. There's enough friction in there. I think the face works well enough. The hair, I think, is okay. Is there a better hair piece that could have been used for that? I mean, obviously it's a familiar one to me, but I think it captures his overall look, his overall swagger. Yeah, I think this works out nicely. I personally am a fan of it, and they give you the alternate face. Here's how that one gets framed up, and there's the back torso print. And then here's that epic and unexpected Spider-Man trio. I think I did this right. I hope I did this right from newest to oldest. Holland, Garfield, and Maguire. I hope I got that right. Garfield had the big eyes, right? I hope I got it right. Yeah, great to get all three in a single set. Prints are pretty good. Not sure if I agree with the eyes here. Is that right? I'm a little bit surprised by how much silver is used on the Maguire one, but it's actually not bad. Looking back at the reference material, it's really too bad that we're not able to get prints going all the way around. But yeah, I think that the subtleties are captured well enough here. You can definitely pick them out. The use of dual molded legs for all three is a must. I'm not really going to give Lego props for that. It's bare minimum for this. I think these figures could have used a little bit more detail. I think they could have gone just a little bit farther. Pretty much the Tom Holland one got the most stuff going on with it by far because of the extra prints, but maybe some prints on the arms would have been really nice to see at this point, even something just very subtle. They do, however, include these heads and hair pieces as alternates, so that is excellent and wonderful and very much appreciated. I will say that though my personal least favorite Spider-Man from recent movies was Andrew Garfield, apologies to any fans out there, it's just my personal opinion. That figure is nailed. It is perfect. The hair and the face, that is on point, 100% sold. This version of Tom Holland here, I'm not seeing it. Does not read as Tom Holland to me at all. Similarly, this version of Tobey Maguire, this works better to me than this does. I would almost switch them, honestly. Neither of these. Let's see. Do we get? I mean, that face I think works, but the hair doesn't. Looking at the alternate face here, that still works. This is still a winner. And here, rounding out the minifigures, Doctor Strange, MJ, and Ned. I feel like MJ has too much hair here. I feel like Ned is pretty good. The print could have used a little bit more white as usual there, but otherwise, not too bad. And then it's just Doctor Strange from the wrong movie. Oops. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that worked out. It's nice to get the hair piece with the printing on the side. I always found that to be extra special. The cloak levitation still is great, so you can take that off and throw it onto, I don't know, randomly another figure in this lineup. And you do get some alternate faces as well, which are good to see. The hair piece for Ned is really especially good. Doctor Strange's spell box is included. This is pretty nice. It's a sand green colored Minecraft head, but you do have to put 5 stickers on it. You can see where those were on this full sheet. Only this one sheet, but I mean, this is a lot of area to be covered by stickers. Meanwhile, the leftover parts include a bunch of extra pieces from the Web Blast and Splat pack, which technically doesn't include these, but then you also get the 4 spare yellow Infinity Stones. I mean, sorry, it's not Infinity Stones, not at all, no. Again, I paid $110 US for this 900-piece set. It is 105 euros, 95 pounds UK, and $140 Canadian, which was just a little bit over $203 US. Do I feel like this is worth it? Well, first of all, let's address the minifigures. There are 9 of them here, and at the absolute maximum, they can be valued at $5 each. They should not be, though. They're not all top quality. But assuming they were, that would be $45 right there. I'm not calling this $45 worth of figures. 40 even is a stretch, but let's just say that. Let's just say 40. Is the rest of this worth $70? Is the build here worth $70 to me? No, but I can kind of see it in 2023's madness of prices and stuff. I can kind of see something of this size being sold for $70. I can. I don't like it, but you know, you look at the like the helmet sets, you know, the standalone helmet sets, a bunch of those are sold for that price and don't have this much stuff. So I can see how this is priced the way it is. And for folks who love the minifigures and put a whole lot of value into those minifigures, understandably so, if you see the value in those at least $40, then I think this is priced okay-ish. Obviously, it came out way too late. Way too late. It would have had a lot more value to people if it came out with the movie, you know, just a little bit after. But I personally would prefer this to be, I don't know, I think just a reasonable discount on this would be like 15-20%. It doesn't need a whole lot for this amount of stuff, because the build is nice, and there's so much that you can do with it as a display set and as a play set. Basically as a play set for all ages, I would say. This 360-degree concept here, it's not that high of a concept, it's not that amazing of an idea, but it's something that we don't get enough, I think. And that concept is executed well here. This asks for things to be posed all around. This asks for minifigs to be interacting all around this. So it does a really good job of that. What I like about this least is just the main thing in the middle. And it's mostly because of the color. I think is just what I very subjectively like the least about it. It just feels so dingy and dull, and I don't know what Lego could have done to make it better. Could they have bumped the price up a bunch, taken it up to like $150 or so, and then gone with actually molded copper colored plastic pieces? Would they mold this many pieces into a specialized color for one set? No, they wouldn't do that. But if they did, then it would make a lot more sense to me, and I think I would feel it a lot better if I could get that copper. Now, other manufacturers would do that, but Lego, I don't think they would do that. If they did, then I think I'd be feeling it. So that's about where I'm at with it. It's the dinginess of the main part of the build here that brings it down the most. The choice of the Doctor Strange is so strange. I don't understand it at all, especially with how far after the movie this came out. And then the inclusion of alternate faces for the Spider-Man, great. Two of them kind of don't work for me though, at least especially the one for the most recent. Yeah, and this one's a little bit off. So you know, the minifigures needed to be great, and they're not. So all in all, it's good. I think it's a good set. It's not a great set. I would like to see a reasonable discount on it. The biggest thing is just, do you like it on the whole? Not, is it worth it, in my opinion. Thank you for watching. Hope that I showed you at least some things here to help you to form your own opinion. I'll talk to you again soon.